All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's class. My name is Morgan Heitzma with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is going to be Docusign 201. So if you were with us last week, I believe we were inside of Docusign, learning how to connect it within our KW command system here. And today I'm just going to show you some additional tips and tricks and hopefully get you out so you can enjoy the sunshine a little bit early today. Before we go ahead and get started, I do want to let you know that this class is recorded here today. So if you want to look back on this at a later date, please feel free to visit our YouTube page. I'm going to drop it in the link. I'm going to drop the link in the chat box down below for you. And during today's class and training, if you have any questions while I'm navigating these topics, please feel free to use the chat box down below. I'll do my best to stop and address those in real time. However, if I miss any questions, just know that I'm going to stay for a few minutes at the end of class here today to help address those. If by chance I need some additional information or your questions, I just need some more context to or some additional troubleshooting, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm going to throw that email in the chat box down below as well. For any kind of technical support that you guys might need within your KW systems, feel free to use that email right there. All right, so as we go ahead and take a look at our screen here today, this is the KW command login page. So we're going to be primarily navigating inside of Docusign today. However, it's always good to navigate. So it's always good to navigate or orient ourselves within the KW command platform so we kind of know where to go to kind of view these different tools and resources. So I'm going to start off here within our KW command system. When we sign in using our KW username and password, it's going to take us to our home page here. And as we kind of take a look at Docusign, Docusign is going to be the emailer platform for you to be able to send out your forms and your documents to your clients to sign. And once they sign those documents, they'll come back to your Docusign room and you'll just be able to upload them to your market center. So as we're taking a look right here, let me zoom up this page here. There we go. As we're taking a look, the first thing that we just want to make sure that we have connected is our Docusign account. And we can go to our name on the top right-hand corner here, give that a click, and it should present a drop-down screen here for us. We're going to be looking for the settings button right here. It's going to be third from the bottom. And once we give this a click here, it should bring us into our settings page. Now, inside of our settings page, what we're really looking for is this Docusign connection right here. We can identify this within our connected app so we know that it is indeed connected. It'll also present an email address saying this is the email address that is connected to our KW Docusign. And then last but not least, it'll have a disconnect button right here. If this is your first time connecting Docusign, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this right here because it's always good to note. You'll find your Docusign all the way down here underneath your digital signature and transactions. Once we go ahead and click on the blue connect button, it will present us the opportunity to enter our first name, last name, as well as our preferred email address. Now, one thing to note right here is, again, if this is your first time setting up your KW branded Docusign, the only way that we can get it connected to command is creating a Docusign account through this settings page right here. So for example, if I went to docusign.com and tried to create an account through the main web page, it will be incompatible to be connected with our KW command. So we'll actually need to go to our settings page inside of our KW command to initiate that account. So you see here, first name, last name, preferred email address. We're still going to need to create a password as well as a security question. Think of this as part one of setting up your KW Docusign account. The second part is going to come in the form of this registration email right here. Once we click send registration email, Docusign will send an email to this address that you labeled right here. for you to create that password and security question. Once you create the password there, we can come back here to our settings page, and there may be one final authorize button in replace of this connect account. Once we click authorize, it will just connect that full circle for you. Now, if you already have, well, as we're taking a look at this page right here, before we proceed to the next page, if you enter in an email address and you get a ugly red error message right down below here, saying that there's already a DocuSign account connected to this email, chances are there's a personal or paid DocuSign account that's connected through DocuSign.com, and unfortunately, it's taking up that email address, and that email is incompatible. So we'd have to use a different email address that's not associated with a DocuSign account. So as we're taking a look right here, I do have a DocuSign account already, so I don't really need to go through the process of creating a brand new one. If by chance you need to ever disconnect your DocuSign account, much like I did right here, you can feel free to connect it by using this small little login here button. Once we click login here, I'm just going to replace Scott Leroy's email with my email. I'll click log into a DocuSign. Depending on how long it's been since I signed into that DocuSign account, it may give a pop-up on this next screen right here for me to fill in the password. So we'll connect that right there. There's that pop-up right here. So we'll just fill in the password, click login. And once we connect that, we'll have a nice blue banner that says DocuSign is now ready and can be found within our opportunities. So as we're taking a look right here, we'll scroll up and we'll see that we do have successfully connected our DocuSign account within our KW command. So, and I know it's a little bit tricky. If you guys have any additional questions, again, please feel free to email us. We'll be sure to provide some additional tips and tricks and information for you as well. As we have our DocuSign connected right here, next we're going to be able to find our DocuSign within our opportunities. And again, if you were with us within DocuSign 101, we went through the process of connecting this and viewing it within our opportunities. I'm going to actually skip through that process here, and I'm going to jump right into our DocuSign room, so we can kind of view some more resources within that section there. So I'm just going to quickly go to my opportunities here. You will first need to have a contact created and then an opportunity created for that contact in order to connect your DocuSign account. So for this example, we've already created a contact. We've already created an opportunity. And if we go ahead and jump into either one of these listing or buyer sections right here, it should have a DocuSign account available for us. So I'm just going to use Morgan Heitzma second buyer right here. As we're taking a look, this is a buyer opportunity. We have our details tab, buyer's profile, documents, offers, commissions, notes, and timeline. Now, when we take a look right here, your DocuSign is going to live inside of each individual opportunity underneath the documents section right here. Giving this a click, you'll have a dark gray go start a transaction button. And once we give that a click, it'll give us a new tab to jump into DocuSign. And this button will turn white saying go to transaction. The white button indicates that there is a DocuSign room already connected to this opportunity. The dark gray button means there's not yet a DocuSign room connected. And if you don't see any button right here, that means we have not yet successfully connected our DocuSign within our settings. So in this case right here, we have a opportunity that is connected to a DocuSign room right here. We can click that go to transaction. It will give us a new tab right here, and it'll open us up into our opportunities. So I have some forms in here. I'm going to select a number of these by using the checkbox right on the top left-hand corner of each document. And for example, in this demonstration right here, as long as one checkbox is selected, you should have this menu box open up right here with a number of different options for us. This demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and use the delete, the trash can on the all the way far to the right here. I'm going to give that a click. I'm going to go ahead and click on continue and delete right here. So as you see right here, we have a couple of documents inside of our DocuSign room. Being DocuSign 201, I just kind of want to highlight some cool resources here for us today. One of which would be creating a number of different folders. So first and foremost, inside of our opportunities right here, if I click on, say, under contract, and I have a number of different documents I need to upload right here, I can actually select attach files from DocuSign right here, but it'll still be grayed out. We'll actually need to select a working folder as well. Now, every DocuSign room that's created automatically gives you one folder, which is called your room docs right here. And it lets you know that there's 2 files or 2 documents inside of the room docs folder. If I wanted to click on this working folder right here, I'll select room docs, and then it should open up the drop down and any signed documents inside of your DocuSign. I don't have any quite yet, but we can go ahead and push one through really quick. Will appear in these drop downs. So again, I don't have any signed documents, but we will be sure to kind of pull one in by the end of our class here today. Now, taking a look right here, if I wanted to, for example, organize my forms based off of, say, signed and non-signed documents, I can go ahead and click on the Actions button on the top right-hand corner here. This blue Actions button will give me a drop down to be able to add another additional folder right here. I'll give that a click. I'll give the folder a name. I'll call it signed. And now we'll have a signed folder right here as well as our room docs. I know, again, that's a little zoomed out, so let me zoom in a little bit more for us. So our signed docs and our room docs. So now when we go back to our opportunities right here, all I have to do is refresh this page and it should pull in that additional form for me to select. So now I can toggle between my signed folder or my room docs folder. And I'm going to use my room docs as my catch-all, just all the different forms that I'm currently working on. Signed are going to be all those pretty signed, sealed, and delivered forms that are ready to be uploaded to our market center. So for example here, if you have a signed document that comes back, we can quickly move it just by clicking and holding the form and just dragging it to whichever folder you're wanting to move it to. So if you have multiple folders here, just simply a click and drag. I'm going to move these back here really quick. I don't have any signed documents just yet, so if I wanted to kind of hide this folder here, or if I wanted to hide my room docs and just view only my signed, there's a small little arrow on the left-hand side right here where we can kind of hide those forms and only focus on the forms that we're looking to work on. Now, another thing to take a look at, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this Details tab right here. So we have Morgan Heitzma buyer. We're inside of Scott Leroy's command right now. So Scott Leroy is the buyer agent. Morgan Heitzma is going to be the buyer. And as we go ahead and click on Details right here, it should kind of reflect that accordingly. So on the right-hand side, we'll just scroll down till we see buyer 1 and buyer agent 1. So scroll down. There you go. Buyer 1, Morgan Heitzma, my information right here. As we scroll down a little bit further, you'll have your buyer agent information as well. Now, one thing that I absolutely love is if there's anything that needs to be adjusted, right? So if I go back to my opportunities and say, gosh, you know, I accidentally spelt this client's name wrong, right? I can simply click on the edit pencil right here, and I can kind of adjust this accordingly. We may have to adjust it within the contact for this example for like the name, but once we go ahead and adjust that, it should reflect accordingly. let me try something else. If I actually wanted to name this something else, right? I found a property that the buyer really loves that we're going to go ahead and make an offer on. The offer was accepted, and so we're going to change this opportunity name to 123 Main Street. And once we go ahead and click save right here, a couple different things will happen. You'll see that you'll have a button right here that says sync transaction. The reason for this is we have our opportunity connected to our DocuSign room. And if we adjust anything within our opportunity here, we'll want to sync that transaction up again so that information adjusts in real time right here. So you know how this name is Morgan Heitzma Buyer. I can refresh this right here, but it should still say Morgan Heitzma Buyer. The moment I sync the transaction right here, we'll go ahead and update. Your room information has been successfully updated. So now we're going to go back over here. We're going to refresh, and the room name should be 123 Main Street right here. We'll give this a refresh one more time. And it did not adjust, but it should. What it should do is it should sync that again in real time. We'll refresh it one more time here for us. And it didn't quite adjust here. So let's jump back into our DocuSign room right here one more time. We'll click on our details. And yeah, so, and again, dealing with technology, right? Sometimes every once in a while, it doesn't quite work the way that it's intended. However, again, if there's a small little adjustment that needs to be made, we can go ahead and simply click this edit button right here, and we can type in that 123 Main Street. Now, again, generally what should happen is it should pull through that information. It should update it in real time when we sync that transaction. So again, if there are small little discrepancies when systems and platforms are updated, you know, again, I would say it's up to us to find those kind of little workarounds to make things work the best for us. Let's try one more edit here to see if something else pulls through. So I'm going to go ahead and let's say add a co-buyer. So I'm going to add Brittany Test right here as the co-buyer within this this opportunity right here. I'm going to hit save, and keep in mind we did not have a buyer one, and sorry, we had a buyer one, but we did not have a buyer two available. So buyer two right here is a blank here for us. We're going to cross our fingers here. We're going to sync that transaction one more time. As you see right here, it says edited. When we sync that transaction, so your room information has been successfully updated. So again, we'll go ahead and refresh this right here. And as we scroll down right here, there you go. It should pull in that buyer two information. So as we see right here, it did pull in the buyer information, didn't quite adjust the name. But again, as we're going through here, small little updates are always being made. So if you're making any adjustments in your opportunity, please be able to sync your transaction so your DocuSign room has that same correct information. Just reading a message here in the chat, just depending on the type of opportunity, DocuSign will provide / populate the appropriate documents that you need. Now, this will truly depend on your market center. I believe your market center has a system on the back end that can auto pull those in. If you're referring to when I first jumped into the DocuSign room and I had all these documents pre-populated, one of two things might have happened. We did have a DocuSign class last week that I may have been inside of this DocuSign room. The second thing is market centers. I do believe there was a period of time where market centers are able to create a number of forms that auto filter into the agent's DocuSign room, but not all market centers participate in that. So as we're kind of taking another look through here, I have these two forms. I'm just going to go ahead and fill one form out here. As we are taking a look, and now we have a buyer 1, we have a buyer 2, and we have the buyer's agent. Again, clicking on this blue add button right here, we'll pull in a DocuSign form. I'm just going to try and find just a simple buyer form, hoping to just kind of auto pull in some information. I'm going to collect this form right here. I'm going to add it to my room. We'll wait for this to load up. And once we give this a click right here, it should give us the real-time look of that form. Not only that, but we're able to kind of fill it in as well. So once this form populates here, we'll see that, that the agent's name populated, the property address, the 123 Main Street populated, as well as some other additional information. So the more information you have on this details tab inside of your DocuSign room, the more will pre-populate onto your what we call DocuSign power forms. So as you are kind of taking a look at this right here, if you are missing information like closing date, it's just simply because I didn't quite have a closing date on my opportunity. So as you see right here, estimated close date was blank. If I were to add a close date right here, and then we'll sync our transaction one more time, we should be able to come back here again, refresh, and that close date should pre-populate within our document here. Give this a click one more time. And as you see, it pre-populated that closing date. So name of the game is the more information you have on your opportunity, the more you can sync your transaction to your DocuSign room's details, which would auto-populate your forms for you. So so you don't have to really spend all that time doing a number of duplicate data entry. So this looks great right here. I'm going to save and close this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this out. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to get a signed document back inside of our DocuSign room here. So, whoops. So how we do that again, we'll give this a checkbox a click right here. We'll click on Create Envelope. You do also have the ability to download as well. So for those of you who need to print those documents, we can go ahead and use that download button. And it should download that PDF here for us. So taking a look at the Create Envelope, though, we're going to send this out to an email address. And I'm not going to select any recipients because I'm actually just going to send this to myself, which is going to be the buyer. So listing agent, listing broker, I'm not going to send this to them. So I'm going to click Continue right here. And then I'm going to click Continue once more. And it should take us to our room where we're filling out our email. So our email, or AKA our envelope, is going to first start off with the number of documents that we're going to send to our client. So right now I only pulled in one document right here, but off to the right here, if we click upload, we have a number of different options that we can use. I'm just going to use one from our room right here. I'm going to pull in another excuse me. I'm going to pull in another document from our room docs right here. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and pull in a second form here. And as you see, it pre-populated two forms. We're going to send these two forms out to our buyer right here, which is going to be Morgan Heitzma. And once we type in a name, I know it already pre-populated right here, but once you type in a name, it should scan through our contacts within our DocuSign here to be able to pull up all of the different Morgan Heitzmas that are in my address book. So I'm going to fill this in right here. I'm going to type in an email address. And again, very, very, very important, so much so where it's worth addressing a second time in DocuSign 101. I addressed this before. if you have multiple signers right here. Let me add Scott Leroy in here. If you have multiple signers in here, please check this signing order off to the left here, because sometimes when you move around and readjust, it doesn't adjust accordingly. So taking a look right here, Morgan Heitzma is going to be a signer number 1. Scott Leroy is going to be signer number 2. If I move Scott Leroy up to signer number 1 right here, what will happen is, look, it actually changed both of these. It moved Scott Leroy back down here to the bottom, but it labeled both of these as the first signer, which means instead of having signer number 1 after signer number 1 signs, it moves over to signer number 2. What will happen is it may cause a discrepancy here as both of these are labeled signer number 1. So we just kind of go ahead and may want to adjust this accordingly. Say Morgan Heitzma will remain signer number 1, but Scott may be signer number 2. We may have to adjust that accordingly. And if you don't see these checkboxes right here, it's going to be this small little checkbox up at the top. Now, moving over here, we're just going to move through this pretty quickly here. I'm just going to add a signature block. And again, all of these objects that are in gray right here, your clients are not going to be able to see. They're only going to be able to see their specific color. So Morgan Heitzma is yellow, Scott Leroy is blue right here. So that indicates who's going to be signing on each side right here. The gray is going to be strictly for you for a last minute fill out right here. This looks great. I'm going to hit send right here. And once I hit send, now you can see that we are actually sending an envelope. It's in the process, needs my signature or waiting for others. As we're looking at this right here, Morgan Heitzma is currently waiting to sign. Once Morgan Heitzma signs, Scott Leroy is going to be that next signer right here. So you can always come back to your envelopes from your documents right here. It's going to be right here. You can always come back and check on where your envelopes are in the process of being signed. So this should be a good indication if maybe I got Scott Leroy's email wrong and we're waiting on him to sign. We may need to correct this envelope. We'll give this a correction right here. And then it'll give you a banner up top here saying that this envelope is active, but we're correcting it currently. And for this example, I'm just going to remove Scott Leroy, and we're just going to send this to myself here. It's going to readjust this because you did see that there was 2 signature sections down below here somewhere. It's going to readjust that as there's only 1 signer now. And once we correct it, it has been corrected. So now we go back to this envelope right here. We'll give this a click. And you'll see that Scott Leroy has been removed. So it's only Morgan that needs to sign right here. Again, this correct button is going to be that way to make those adjustments. You also have a resend. So again, if somebody didn't get that envelope and you're waiting for them to sign, you can resend as well. You also have some additional options as well. So you can view the full envelope details, view the history of the envelope, void the entire envelope if you need to, or just simply make a copy. All right, I'm going to jump over to my email address really quick. I'm going to sign in and I'm going to take a look at this DocuSign right here. So if you're ever curious on what a DocuSign will look like from your client's point of view, this is what it would look like. So the buyer right now has just received this email to sign the document. And again, taking a look right here, I did not adjust anything. This is what DocuSign sends out on their own accord. So again, pretty decent in the way of just sending an email out to get signed. However, you do have the ability when you create that envelope to adjust kind of additional information right here. I'm going to quickly review and sign this document. Again, this is all from the client's point of view, so they'll accept this right here, continue, and then all they have to do is click this start button right here, and then it'll trail them down to wherever they need to go to fill the document out. And what else is cool is your clients don't need a DocuSign account in order to utilize this. So simply send this to them. We can hit finish right here. And at the very end, if they decide that they want to have an account, they can. So it may ask them, would you like to create an account? I can simply say no thanks. But on the top right hand corner, I can also print or download this PDF that I just signed. So your PDF is being generated. So again, it's just downloading. As you see it, it finished downloading right here. So I was able to kind of take a look and download this PDF. Going back to our DocuSign room, right? So again, going back over here to documents, if I click a refresh right here, we should now have a signed document, and our signed documents look a little bit different. Let's see right here. Oh gosh. Okay. So I sent it to a different, I sent it to a wrong email address, but that's perfectly fine right here. Let me try and correct this one more time here for us. All right, really quickly here. Okay, so let's try this one more time. We're going to send this off to get a signature. We're going to correct it. A great real-time example if we, again, ended up making a mistake here and sending it to a wrong email address. So again, checking one more time, morganheitzma.slm. That should be the correct email address right here. And as we give this a click right here, this should be that new one. What you saw, what happened was the very first time when I corrected that envelope, it must have reverted my email address back to my KW email, which has caused that discrepancy. But we're just really quickly, easily able to adjust that just by using that correct. So again, we'll start this one more time. We'll sign right here. We'll hit finish. And then again, we'll hit no thanks. We do have that ability to download and print, but we'll hit no thanks. We don't want to create a account. And then again, from your client's point of view, they'll just have something nice and pretty here that says you finished signing to know that, that they have completed the document. All right, now coming back over here to the document section or the envelope section here to start, you will see a completed green checkbox right here. You'll also see that in the form of your document section as well. So giving this a click right here, we'll have two signed documents. So right here, we can go ahead and easily be able to identify and move these over to our signed section. You see this right here, and this other green section is going to be signed as well. So again, now we're able to organize our signed documents versus the documents we're working. Going back over to our opportunities here. One last time, we're just going to click on our documents right here. We're going to click on that under contract. And again, you have your Broom docs and your signed docs. But this time, since we do have signed forms inside of our DocuSign room, it should present those as an option for us to select. So giving this a click right here, we have that one form and that second form right here. Now we have that as a ability to pull in. And again, once we pull this in, we can submit to Market Center for approval. So that's how you would really generally go about signing and correcting an envelope here, as well as kind of organizing it within your document section. Now, for all of you real estate agents working on a team, right, or all you transaction coordinators. So for you guys, this is going to be a little bit different process. So I believe each opportunity you may need to be invited into to be able to kind of have the ability to edit and work on these documents. So for example, my 123 Main Street right here, if you're a transaction coordinator or a rainmaker looking to add a TC into your DocuSign room right here, we can click on people, and this should indicate all of the individuals that have access to your room right here. Now, you may not have quite as many as I have right here. However, you should have at least your Market Center, someone on your Market Center staff, like your MCA, But also, when we take a look at these, please don't edit or adjust these, because this is how your connection is secured within KW Command. So for example, if I accidentally removed an MCA or a Keller Williams, it may cause my DocuSign to not work correctly. So, but aside from that, as long as we leave the staff and the KWs in here, we can simply click the invite on the top right hand corner here, and we're going to invite a participant to engage in the forms in our room. So there's going to be two ways to add contacts. There's going to be contacts that you just send envelopes to, so like clients. And there's going to be this way right here where you're going to have team members and TCs be able to actually pull those docs in. So for example, right here, who do I want to have access to this DocuSign? So again, let's use Scott as an example right here. Scott Leroy at slm.com. And as I give that a click, it pulled in all this information, and it pre-populated which side of the transaction I'm already on. So again, within our opportunities, this is a buyer opportunity. So this pre-populated to the buy side because we're the buyer agent, right? So the room role right here down below, this will allow you to be able to say, you know, what kind of role does this individual have? And you can view the permissions as well. So taking a look through here saying, okay, I only want a certain number of permissions, you may be able to kind of take a look and see what is included within that room role. You also have for your transaction, your buy side, list side, you have both, and then your refi. I can go ahead and simply invite this right here. It'll send an email to Scott. And when Scott accepts, Scott will end up being inside of this this people section right here. And again, each DocuSign room is going to have a different set of people sections. Should always have your market center, but it should have different people depending on who you invite to that specific room. Now, the second part of that is filling in your address book, right? So having the ability to pre-populate that client information with the name and the email address, especially during the envelope process right here. What we can simply do is we can click on our name or our headshot, our initials on the top right-hand corner right here, give that a click, and then you should get a drop down. And within this drop down right here, you should have contacts. And if we give this a click right here, this will allow you to be able to, it has a directory initially, but if we move over to the address book right here, this should allow you to be able to add the individuals to your address book if you so choose, right? And we can simply click add contact on the top right-hand corner here. Again, if I wanted to add Scott Leroy and then his email. There we go, scott@slm.com. And then again, we can go ahead and hit save right here, and that should pull that individual in. So next time when I go to add Scott, I'll have an additional email address that it may pull in for me. Again, especially if Scott uses a couple different email addresses. The next thing that I kind of wanted to highlight is going to be our My Docs section. So again, I'm going to reorient ourselves by navigating back to our DocuSign rooms. Once you hit your name on the top right-hand corner here, it'll kind of give you a dashboard of all the different stuff that you have. Truthfully, your rooms and your My Docs may be the most important ones that you navigate to frequently. Inside of our rooms right here, it's just a catch-all of all the opportunities in the DocuSign rooms that I have inside of here. The most recent one will be the very first one right here. So as we were in this just a moment ago, it'll be the first one up top. So I just wanted to reorient ourselves back here because this is going to be a good place to kind of, again, be able to identify the My Documents section right here. So inside of My Documents, this allows you to be able to create a number of different templates. So here, let's back out one more time. Inside inside of our documents, when we go to pull these from our DocuSign forms, you'll have two different sections. You'll have your packets, and then you'll have your libraries. You know, a few months ago, this was divided between, I believe, like Market Center forms, and then your board forms. But DocuSign updated this to packets right here, and allowed the agents the ability to update and edit these templates as well. So as we go through here and take a look, again, you may not have as many packets as I have right here, but you should have a few of them, and they may be starting to be organized in a certain fashion, like buyers, sellers, things like that, disclosures, listings, right? So as we go through and take a look at that, the My Docs section will first have our forms and our personal right here. Again, I'm not 100% sure if you guys will have these pre-populated or not. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. I know that we have created quite a bit over here. So to create a brand new packet, we'll click on this blue button right here. We'll give this packet a name. And I believe it's organized based off of alphabetical order right here. So I kind of put a 1 right there. I'm going to name this one 11. And then it'll say select library. Now this is pretty important because we can't just pull in any PDF that we have on our computer. We'll actually have to use those forms that are, let's see if I can kind of go back here. We'll actually have to use those forms that are within our DocuSign rooms right here that are from our Market Center, right? From our board. These are the only forms that we can really kind of pull from to be able to create templates from. So again, taking a look right here, clicking on new packet, naming this 11 right here. Oh, there we go. We'll give this a click. I didn't pull in any forms just yet, but I can go ahead and click on manage forms right here. And then we can select a specific library that we want to pull from. So again, you have your board forms, your Market Center forms. So if there's a specific Market Center that I want to pull in right here, I can go ahead and I can take a look and pull in a specific number of forms right here. You can view these forms, so you can view what they look like. It'll have a sample view right here for us because we're not really sending this to anyone just yet. And then they'll have this drop down right next to our view. And this will allow us to be able to create a template right here. So creating a template will allow us to be able to edit specific options in this form. So every time we go to pull it, we can choose like a blank form or our template form. So again, so any type of information that's already on here that you may want to pre-populate, you can do so. I kind of pulled in one that didn't quite have too much information in it. I'm certain this one may be about the same way, but again, definitely allows you to be able to adjust any kind of templates and forms. So I'm just going to write sample template form right here. I'm just going to save and close this just so we can kind of be able to identify this again when we're actually inside of our rooms right here. I believe that's the engagement letter that we edited. So again, simply coming back to our DocuSign room right here. Once you create these templates and edit these templates, I believe no matter where you are in a room, so this you can be within a number of different rooms, you should still have the template available for you. So again, looking through here, we just created the 11 form or the 11 packet right here. And inside of this has that engagement letter. So when we click on the engagement letter versus when we click on, well, this is template as well. When we click on the engagement letter, if there is a template available, you'll have a drop down right here. So you can choose a blank form or the actual template and then pull that in. And then again, once we pull that in, it should have that text that we just entered. There's going to be one last thing that, if you guys are looking to pull in PDFs, we can simply pull in, there you go, sample template form. We can simply pull in a PDF, but it may not pull in information from your details tab. That's strictly a DocuSign Power Form. If you're looking to create a Power Form yourself, we can do this. However, it will not be attached to a DocuSign room. By taking a look at creating our own template from say our computer or from a PDF, again, we'll click on our name on the top right-hand corner here, switch to e-signature, and you'll have another section called templates up top here. So again, e-signature, think of it as two different sides of the same coin. So they don't really see each other, they don't really talk to each other. So when you're inside of your templates inside of e-signature, they will not be compatible to be used within your DocuSign rooms, okay? So, but it does give you the ability to create a template, send that template out, and have it come back to get signatures. We can do this by simply clicking this new button right here, create template. Again, we just pull in the forms that we want to add. I believe I have, here's a coloring contest PDF that I have just off the top of my page right here. And as we are taking a look at this right here, we can actually pull in our own PDFs and then we can kind of fill them out. And then I kind of leave this section blank for the recipients. And then once we save and close it, you'll have the ability to just use this time and time again. And as we're taking a look at this right here, if we click use, it should pull us into that what we're used to, that envelope process where we're sending out for signatures. So again, we would type in our name right here, we would hit next, and then we can go ahead and pull in those signatures. And again, apologies for this, I don't quite have a PDF readily available, but yeah. As we're taking a look over here, once this is signed and initials, we can send it out. As I didn't add a recipient name and email while I created that template right here, this allows me to always have the ability to enter this in with a new individual. All right, I'm not going to send this out. I'm actually going to discard it. But once it comes back, you'll have it. You'll have it here. My best advice to you would be to upload the template, the custom template, into your DocuSign room. So it's not quite a foolproof process, but it does still allow you to be able to, if you have any of those custom forms that you like to send out to your buyers or your sellers, it still allows you to be able to create those templates. You'll have to manually upload them to your document section. All right. I think that may be about it for me here today. You guys got a little bit of templates. You got your packets. You got templates. You got the ability to kind of create forms and send out for signatures. You have the ability to correct envelopes. I'm gonna leave it where it is here today. If you guys have any questions, I'm gonna stay a few minutes later and help answer those for you. If you're watching this at a later date, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com.